Hey everyone, I hope you are having a wonderful day so far. I am just dropping this special little clip into all the episodes. So, no matter what episode you're listening to, this is actually pretty current as of July 2024. I wanted to come on here and just say a big thank you to Earworthy because the Life Shift podcast was just named the best overall podcast of the year in the first Earworthy Independent Podcast Awards. And you've probably seen some articles written about the Life Shift podcast before, written by Earworthy. And now he is launching from his online publication, he is launching these yearly winners of independent podcast awards. And these are specifically for indie podcasters. We are those that wear all the hats. We create the show. Some people write the show. We're producers, sound engineers. We troubleshoot all the tech. We do any kind of research if we need to. We host the shows. We distribute the shows. We do all the things that relate to our shows because we love it. And it's so nice to see my name in a list with some other amazing podcasts like Multispective, which won Best Life Lessons Podcast. Salad with a Side of Fries won Best Health Podcast. Bippity Boppity Business won Best Business Advice Podcast. And there are so many more. And so I just want to come on here and say thank you to Earworthy for not only doing these awards every year and just honoring some of us indie podcasters that sometimes feel like we're just shouting into the void, but we're not. We're just doing what brings us joy, and hopefully through that work it brings other people joy. In my case, for the Life Shift, I hope that each episode finds the ears that needed to hear it the most so that they feel a little less alone in their circumstance. But also, Earworthy writes all these amazing publications pretty much weekly, every week, every weekday, I should say, where he writes on Blogger, Medium, Substack, Tumblr, Vocal, Many Stories, and for other places. And he really just highlights the independent podcasters. So thank you, Frank, for everything you do with Earworthy and for recognizing all of us in the first Earworthy Independent Podcast Awards. If you'd like to read more, please head to medium.com/EAR hyphen WORTHY. Thanks again and enjoy this episode. Hello, my friends. This is another preview to a bonus episode that we do over on the Patreon feed. And so, with these bonus episodes, I like to go back to former guests and just catch up with them based on what we talked about on their show and see if things have changed a little bit. Maybe they had some feedback from people that they didn't expect, or maybe they just learned something new about themselves by sharing the story. And so, in this clip, I wanted to share just a little piece of the latest conversation that I had. If you're interested in checking out the full bonus episodes, you can head over to the Patreon page, which is www.thelifeshiftpodcast.com/join. And there is a special tier that gets you ad-free episodes, early release episodes, and the bonus episodes. Come on over, check out the Patreon community, and see how you can support the show if you're interested. But without further ado, here's a preview of the latest bonus episode. Related to this podcast, I know you were at the time when we recorded, you were kind of doing the rounds of different podcasts. Was there anything that stood out about our conversation that you felt differently after recording this one, or was it just like all the same? Because I know we've had conversations back and forth, and I'm just curious how this one differs in your experience.
I think your podcast is just different, and it's because you are different.
Thank you.
I think it's so much more about your story and its impact and its relatability and sharing and amplifying those stories of others for purpose, right? Like versus being brought on to do self-promotion. And as a PR person, PR people are like terrible at self-promotion because our entire jobs have been about promoting others. So it's like kind of an uncomfortable place for a lot of people to be, because you're like, I still don't love talking about myself. But what I do love talking about is the work that I do and the people that I get to work with and the impact that I make. So I think I felt very seen and heard and like valued on your podcast. So thank you for that, because I think that's important.
Thank you for the kind words. And I put you on the spot so that you would say nice things so that I have it recorded so that if I needed to play it back. No, I agree. And sometimes I have these interactions with publicists that are pitching their clients or whatever, and everyone's pitch, not everyone, but a lot of the pitches are, here's my client, here's their one sheet, here are the bullet points that they can sell to your audience, and I'm just like, no, like that's not what I want. I really do want these to feel like two people sitting down having a conversation that I wish I could overhear everyone having, and it just happens to be recorded. And then, like you said, the right person is hearing it at the time that they need to hear it, and so that's what drives me. And I know it's not for everyone, and I know that's okay, and it doesn't need to be for everyone. And that's why when I get like intimidated sometimes by guests like, that have had a lot of success in places that I haven't, and I'm like, why me? But so thank you for just being willing to just be on this podcast that's not like the other ones and not prescriptive and in that way.
I think too, we always forget that someone's success doesn't mean that it's going to take away from yours. We live in this like idea that I've maybe it's the week that we're in right now. I mean, again, the world just feels nuts, but I feel like I have so much angst and like just anger around social media, and it's need an algorithm to like push people to make a statement on something or to post something or to feel not worthy enough because their opinion didn't matter or because it wasn't agreed upon. And I think about that a lot, that my success isn't really, it doesn't make a difference if anybody else's, right? It's just kind of like, it is what, and it's also like, I'm the judge of it. So it's like, if I feel successful, if I feel fulfilled, if I feel like I'm making a difference, I guess that's where I need to sit. But that's a human practice. Like we have to like practice that because we've been conditioned to do the opposite.
I'm learning a lot of what I was conditioned to do and feel and grow through, my journey as I have these conversations like, oh yeah, that's why I feel the way that I do. And, after 40 plus years, it's a lot harder to break those immediately. But I have people on here. I'm like, why me? But it's wonderful. And I love this.